Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're setting the stage for an epic journey. We are going to transform the absolute most mundane fruit you'll find in the grocery store into a sweeping tale of bizarre botany, dark geopolitical history, and, well, impending agricultural doom. Yep, we're talking about the banana. You likely have one sitting on your kitchen counter right now, but I promise you, by the time we wrap up here, you're never going to look at it the same way again. So let's kick things off with a pretty wild number, 10 million. Why is that important? Well, bananas naturally contain a radioactive isotope known as potassium-40. I know it sounds kind of alarming, but don't worry. The radiation levels are so incredibly low that you would literally have to eat 10 million bananas in one single sitting to get a lethal dose. So rest assured, your morning smoothie is perfectly safe. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Wild Facts and Banana Myths. Let's go ahead and shatter a few fundamental assumptions right out of the gate. You think the strawberry, which, has the word berry right there in its name, is a berry. Well, botanically speaking, it's not. But the banana, against all common sense, it meets every single scientific requirement to be classified as a true berry. And to make things even weirder, the banana tree you're probably picturing in your head isn't actually a tree at all. It's a giant herbaceous plant. That means your banana is technically an herb distantly related to ginger. And this perfectly illustrates the banana's bizarre cultural impact. Take Comedian, a notorious 2019 art piece by Mauricio Catalan. It was, quite simply, a real perishable banana duct-taped to a white wall. It caused a massive uproar when it originally sold for $120,000. But get this, the story didn't end there. Just recently, one of the editions of this exact conceptual artwork sold at auction to a crypto entrepreneur for a staggering $6.2 million. No way, right? It just goes to show how this everyday object has become a weird canvas for our culture's most extreme behaviors. Moving right along to Section 2, the Banana Republic Empire. Let's trace this epic timeline, because it's a wild ride. The banana has been cultivated for thousands of years, with ancient sacred texts in South Asia actually written right on its broad leaves. By 327 BC, Alexander the Great encountered them in India. But because bananas bruise easily and ripen super fast, they stayed strictly regional for centuries. That all changed in the late 1800s. The invention of steamships and refrigeration meant bananas could be harvested green and shipped across oceans, making them America's first mass-imported tropical fruit. Fast forward to 1899, massive monopolies like the United Fruit Company formed. And by 1954, corporate influence was so vast, it even played a role in a CIA-backed coup in Guatemala, just to protect corporate land holdings. This history leads us directly to a term you've definitely heard, but maybe didn't know the exact origin of: Banana Republic. Coined by American writer O. Henry back in 1904, this phrase describes a very real, very dark geopolitical reality. Foreign corporations, primarily the United Fruit Company, effectively controlled the economies, infrastructure, and politics of several Central and South American nations, just to ensure a cheap, constant supply of bananas. The human cost was severe, tragically highlighted by events like the 1928 Banana Massacre in Colombia, where workers striking for basic rights were fired upon by the military. Which brings us to Section 3, the fall of Big Mike. Okay, imagine if you could travel back in time and share a banana with your grandparents. You know what? It would taste totally different. For decades, the global standard was a variety called the Gros Michel, affectionately known as Big Mike. It was sweeter, creamier, and had a much thicker skin. But in the early 20th century, a relentless soil fungus called Panama disease started wiping out Gros Michel plantations worldwide. The whole industry was forced to pivot just to survive, replacing Big Mike with the Cavendish variety, which is the one we all eat today. The Cavendish is a bit milder in flavor, but crucially, it was resistant to that specific strain of Panama disease. All right, let's lighten things